going on, Falcon fan? This is boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. So today we're going to talk about all the buzz that's going around the NFL offseason for 2023 and how much buzz is actually buzzing around these Atlanta Falcons. You got to think about it. This is one of the years where the Atlanta Falcons have so many questions. You know, the last two seasons from a regime change, nobody expected the Atlanta Falcons to do a whole lot because of the cap situation. If you go back and look at the records, everybody predicted. I think the first season they had us winning 4 games. Last year they had us winning 2 games. So nobody expected a lot out these Atlanta Falcons. This year with so much cap space, it's a lot of more buzz around this team and all of the speculations. So many rumors going around Atlanta Falcons. You don't know what to believe. A lot of things that you hear, most of the stuff is just rumors. People, what they think the team should do, or they haven't really heard anything from the teams and things like that. You look what the teams have done and things like that. Like I said, there's so many speculations, but the buzz around this team is so many things. We're going to talk about some of that stuff today. Some of the rumors that's out there, where the Falcons sit. Some of the key dates that's coming up here in just a minute. We know right now the NFL Combine is still going on. Still 2 more days left. We've seen some guys run some good times, some good field work out there. Heard a lot of things. We know the situation with a guy like Jalen Carter. So it's a lot of things going on right now during this offseason. One of the most exciting offseason, personally, for me, for an Atlanta Falcon fan. And so much intrigue going on about this team. So today I just want to come out here and talk about it with you guys and get your guys' opinion about what you think what's going to happen moving forward with this team based on all these rumors. What can we believe? Should we believe any of it? Or if we just sit back and let everything unfold in the next couple of weeks here. So guys, with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys like hear I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So the first news I want to get to today, which is pretty juicy news. It's circling around and it was mentioning about the Chicago Bears, who actually have the #1 draft pick in the NFL, and one of the teams that was mentioned, if the Bears decide to trade they pick, is the Atlanta Falcons moving up to #1, right? So, which is really interesting, right? I like I said, you don't know what to believe about that. Where is that rumor coming from? Is there any truth to it? Would Atlanta Falcons consider moving up to #1? Why would they move up to #1, right? Only reason why the team usually moves up to #1 spot would be to take a quarterback, right? Which the question is, how much confidence do the Atlanta Falcons have in Desmond Ridder? They said all the right things about his progression, what they've seen through the season. They like his progress and things like that. And at the same time, they also said that they haven't made a decision that he's going to be the starter, which is understandable. But the idea of the Atlanta Falcons moving up to a #1 spot, just really, really interesting. Personally, I don't believe the rumor, but I have to talk about it because it's out there. And if the Atlanta Falcons are moving up to #1, what's going to cost them to do it, right? Potentially, probably a first-round pick and probably a 3rd or 2nd in next year's draft, something like that, to move up. Even more, we don't know. You have to look at go back to some of the trades from coming up from 8 to 1 and look at what that would actually cost these guys to come up, knowing that you're going to come up and get a quarterback. The question is, which quarterback would they come up and get? Only quarterback that I could consider them taking would be Bryce Young, which would be interesting. We haven't heard anything about that. But if they was come up and get a guy like Bryce Young, what do you guys think about that? Personally, I already had my feelings. I think Desmond Ridder should have the opportunity. He only played 4 games. And I talked about this a couple videos ago. I don't understand how teams are so quick to not give quarterbacks time to actually play in this league to see can they actually play. It's no way. It's no way in hell the Atlanta Falcons know what they have in Desmond after just 4 games. It's no way they could know that. None of the pundits out there, nobody could actually gain until to say that Desmond is going to be a bust or he's going to be good or he's going to be bad. There's no way they can tell that from 4 games. Well, Atlanta Falcons should have the most insight because they've been with him throughout the entire offseason last year, the entire season this year, and they seen him play 4 games, right? So they would know more than anybody, but they have said all the good things, the right things to say that they still believe that he potentially could be. They just have not made it 100%. So it's no way that I would think the Atlanta Falcons would think that they're going to go ahead and mortgage some of their future to bring in another rookie quarterback when they already just drafted one last year, and they haven't gave the rookie quarterback from last year enough sample size to know what his trajectory would be in this league. So that's really interesting to me. Like I said, I don't believe it, but since it's out there, I would say they would have to be going to get a guy like Bryce Young. However, as of right now, they have not interviewed with Bryce Young yet. As of earlier today, maybe they have done it now, later on tonight, maybe. But we know they have interviewed C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and Will Levis. And I would say none of those guys would rate the Atlanta Falcons mortgage their future to move up to number 1 to get him. Right? If one of those guys was to drop to number 8, maybe. I still don't agree with that idea, but at the same time, going up to move number 1 to draft one of those guys. No, C.J. Stroud, you guys know how I feel about Ohio State quarterbacks. I don't believe that they have had enough competition throughout to determine that they can actually be a good quarterback in this league. I think the Big Ten defenses are not as good, and they look better than what they are. However, I can say C.J. Stroud did look good against the Georgia Bulldogs in the college football playoff. So if they want to take that one game and decide that he has the potential to actually be a good quarterback, I don't know what he could have shown more from that one game than Desmond Ridder showed in the 4 games that he played in the actual NFL to determine that he would be a better fit than Desmond Ridder. That would be the answer to me. Like I said, they do this stuff for a living. From my eye test, I don't see where they would be saying that C.J. Stroud is just a much better quarterback than Desmond Ridder. I couldn't see it. Anthony Richardson is a project, right? We see him play. He played in the SEC. He's an athlete. Yes, he's an athlete. He's going to probably knock every mark off the box tomorrow during the combine to showing his athleticism and things like that. But I put him in the same category with a guy like Malik Willis from last year. It's going to be an athlete, but it's going to be a project. That's not what Atlanta Falcons want to do. Once again, I don't see how they would say Anthony Richards is a better prospect than Desmond Ridder based off what they seen on tape. You will have to go completely off potential, right? And then last but not least, Will Levis is another guy. I don't think he fit Arthur Smith's scheme. I don't think he's mobile enough. He's a big quarterback. I think he probably will be a good pro in the NFL, but personally, I don't think he fit what Arthur Smith trying to do. And once again, I don't think he has shown anything more in college than what Desmond Ridder did in his 4 games in the NFL. So the quarterback's question for me is just really interesting, and that the fact that people's talking about Atlanta Falcons moving up to number 1, it's just really strange. I guess they want to include them to the conversation because most people don't believe Atlanta Falcons have a quarterback, right? And I take that as they don't watch enough of Atlanta Falcons football. I don't think enough people watch those 4 games to see that Desmond Ridder did show potential. I mean, he played the New Orleans Saints defense, which is pretty good. The Baltimore Ravens defense, which is pretty good. The Arizona Cardinals and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, four pretty good defenses. And I felt like he actually did well every game, got better. But that's not a good enough sample size to go. He played probably 7 games in the NFL. 3 of those games were preseason games. But he didn't even play the entire game in the preseason. So I just don't understand how the national media and the pundits that actually watch football so much can say the Atlanta Falcons really need to go out and go grab another rookie quarterback when they already got one in the quarterback room. They want to talk about grabbing a veteran quarterback. I would understand that more. I would really understand somebody saying that they're going to go out and get a veteran quarterback. That would make more sense to me. But bringing in another rookie quarterback, who's also not proven, and bring him in when you got a quarterback you just had and only played 4 games, just don't make sense to me. I'm not saying that it won't happen, but to me, I would disagree with most of the people that have Atlanta Falcons moving up to number 1 to going to get a quarterback. One of the other stories that's out there is that from PF Pro Football Focus, saying that 2 target free agents out of 100 top free agents in the coming off season, that the Atlanta Falcons actually might go get it. Jesse Bates, we already talked about him. We know, the ties he had with some of the other guys on the Atlanta Falcons because they share the same agent. Maybe they have already been lobbying for Jesse Bates to come to the Atlanta Falcons. We could definitely say that could be the case. So guys like AJ Terrell, Kyle Pitts, and like, hey, come down with us. We'll be a good tandem down there. Casey Hayward is another guy who Atlanta Falcons still got in the squad. So all those guys coming in trying to recruit a guy like Jesse Bates, that could definitely happen. The other guy was Jadeveon Clowney. I talked about him as well. Jadeveon Clowney has definitely been a so-so potential free agent for many years. Came out, didn't really have a lot of high numbers for the Atlanta Falcons, but at the end of the day, the Atlanta Falcons need to try to create pass rush. If anything, Jadeveon Clowney, if they can get him with the right price, bring him in to add some depth. Been in the league for a while, so it could bring some leadership to that young pass rusher room as well. But that would not be my only signing for defensive end pass rusher. It would be somebody else as well for Jadeveon Clowney. Other guys that's out there is really going to be interesting. We got Daniel Jones asking for $45 million. How would that reflect the quarterback market, especially if you guys like Lamar Jackson? What is he asking for if Daniel Jones asks for $45 million? Goes into the other quarterbacks, Justin Herbert. All those guys if Daniel Jones asks for $45 million a year, you just can marry with Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson is asking for their contracts as well. So it's going to be interesting to watch how this quarterback carousel unfold. Of course, we still got Jimmy Garoppolo's out there. It's probably going to be a quarterback that's going to go to a team that needs quarterbacks. Also, you got Derek Carr that has been courted by the New York Jets, the New Orleans Saints, and the Carolina Panthers as well. So we could have Derek Carr in the NFC South with either one of those teams. We just have to see how that pans out as well. But the NFL free agency is going to start. We got 2 key dates to definitely look at for this offseason coming up real soon. It's the 7th or March. It's when all teams have to have their franchise tag designated by that time. So we know about Caleb McGarry. I feel like the Atlanta Falcons going to let him test the free agency, or are they already working on a deal? We do not know, right? Atlanta Falcons keep real mum on the things that they're doing in the office. That's why these rumors we hear about Atlanta Falcons, you can't believe it, because Atlanta Falcons don't let you know what they got going on. It just happens, right? So Caleb McGarry is a guy. We don't know if they're working with a guy like Lorenzo Carter to try to bring him back as well. So those are some of the guys that they can already sign and bring back. Maybe not Lorenzo Carter because he's a free agent, but he was in-house. Could already be trying to have a deal with him. Our other linebacker, Rashaan Evans, as well. Those guys definitely going to be first on the list. But March 7th is the franchise tag date. We're looking out for that for a guy like Lamar Jackson as well, because Lamar Jackson has been rumored they'll be traded, and everybody's talking about him getting traded to the Atlanta Falcons. So if the Baltimore Ravens do not franchise tag him, which I believe they will, with no doubt, we will determine what kind of franchise tag they put on it, the exclusive of the non-exclusive tag. We'll have to see. But if they don't come up with a deal by March 7th, I think he will be franchise tagged. We know we did lose out on Deron Payne. He was franchise tagged already, so we won't be getting him from. But there's a lot of more defensive tackles out there that the Atlanta Falcons can target. A lot of more defensive backs that the Atlanta Falcons can target as well. We just have to see what the Atlanta Falcons decide to do in the free agency period. Terry Fontenot definitely said that he was going to be smart and they was not going to go out and just get splashy guys. They want to bring in somebody that fits their culture and fit, what they're trying to do, their scheme, and somebody that's gonna actually make dividends. Everybody that the Atlanta Falcons have signed so far in these last couple of years have really contributed in some form or fashion, right? So we like their track record with the guys they have brought in to this building. A lot of these guys been on 1-year deals, which, a lot of those guys fight for new contracts, right? If you bring a guy in on a long-term deal, you want to make sure you're bringing in the right character guy that's going to be here for a while to help you build your team with all these young guys. So that's what they got to consider. They're going to be smart. They don't want to get back in salary cap hell. That's why, going out and trading for a guy like Lamar Jackson would be interesting because it would definitely bite into the salary cap. It's a stat out there that, when a quarterback has, about 25% of your salary cap, it's really hard to win. And that's just tough. But in some cases, it worked both ways with Patrick Mahomes. They just won, right? But if you look at the last two other guys that lost in the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts, they quarterback, they still on their rookie deals. And you see what the kind of team they was able to build around those two quarterbacks. That should be the model Atlanta Falcons should be trying to follow, in my opinion, because they don't already have their franchise guy. They got a guy that they sort of believe in, we think, with Desmond Ridder. But if you can build around him and give him all the right pieces, I think this team can be really competitive this upcoming season. Guys, so that's all the news. I really want to want you guys to let me know what you think about these crazy rumors that are coming out. There are so many more. But it's really interesting that so many people believe that the biggest need for the Atlanta Falcons is the quarterback position. I do believe they're going to bring in a veteran quarterback. We just don't know who that veteran is going to be. I don't think whoever they bring in is going to be marked as a starter. Maybe to compete with a guy like Desmond Ridder, but we know they're going to add to the quarterback room. I don't see them adding a rookie in the first round. Maybe in the later rounds, but in the first round, I do not see that and a rookie quarterback. That just not make sense to me unless they just got a guy that they just gonna book their whole regime on, right? Because if they draft a guy in the first round, they saying that this guy is their guy. So we just have to see. We don't know, but we do know that we like what the Atlanta Falcons have done so far. And some of these rumors and some of the things that people suggest that the Falcons should do is just not. It is to me, it'll be off the script of how they've been building these last 2 years. Now, they did go off the script a little bit last year when they tried to go get Deshaun Watson. So never say never. I would say this. If Lamar Jackson was to come available, I do see the Atlanta Falcons maybe trying to pursue him because, he is a known commodity already. And like I said, and I do believe this with the bottom of my heart, you have to have a franchise quarterback. You need to build a team around him, but you have to have a franchise quarterback, and then you can go from there. So until the Atlanta Falcons actually establish who their franchise quarterback is, this always, I guess, in my opinion, is going to be a topic for this team to see how far they can go. The question is, do they believe Desmond Ridder can be that guy, or are they going to go out and get another guy to take his place. We don't know, right? But we will know something to start to develop here in the next 2 weeks, and that's exciting. Free agency, the new league year starts. Free agency is going to start March 12th, so think about that. You got the 7th franchise tag designation has to be decided. 5 days after that, negotiation period start for free agency, and we're going to start hearing a lot of noise coming out the Atlanta Falcons early this year than maybe in the last 6 or 7 years for the Atlanta Falcons, because they got the money to spend. So guys, let me know what you think about this wild offseason so far. Let me know if you've been looking at some of these guys from the combines who you like. I definitely gonna come out with my third mock draft after the scouting combine. I just want to let some of these guys go and see who actually, made grounds this offseason. I can tell you this: the Georgia Bulldogs are doing their thing once again. Keely Ringo, Nolan Smith looking good. Both of those guys ran 4.3s, 40s. All right, so like last year, Walker went out and had a good combine as well and start to rise up stock. We'll see if these guys do the same. You never know, but it's exciting to watch these young guys go out and pursue their NFL careers, and we have to just determine which one of these guys actually going to be on the Atlanta Falcons next year. That's all I have. This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.